Oh, hello people. I hope you're well as ever. Oh, here we are out in the wilds. So today we're gonna have a little chat about inflatable sleep mats. Don't worry, I'm not going to go into technical jargon. It's just a quick little briefing on do's, don'ts, and what to expect from them. Just in time to get disturbed by a little old helicopter. That's kind of low. How low can you go? Come on, hurry up. Think we can pick it up? No. Strange. Anyway, let's get off the beaten track. Find a little niche area for me to set things up. As I said, we're not going to be going into great detail and technical jargon. Right, I'll give me a moment and we'll set things up. So let's go ahead and get these out. I brought half a dozen with me. 1, 2. Oh, look at that beast. So I'll go on ahead. I'll get them all out, and we'll take a look at the whatnots and the whatchamacallits, and I'll speak to you soon. So as you can see, like I said, I brought about half a dozen, and they all have different pros and cons. Before I get them all inflated, we'll just have a kind of slight chat amongst to see which one has different virtues. The biggest is the Rab Stratosphere with an R rating of 5.5, and it's a large. Now, I suppose one of the first things we need to do is talk about R ratings. R ratings means it's warmth. I'm not going to get into all the technicalities of it. All we need to know is it's how warm it's going to keep you. It doesn't matter how warm your sleeping bag or your sleeping quilt is. The cold floor will snatch the heat from you. Like as easy as taking candy from a baby. You can have the world's best sleeping bag, but if you're not insulated from the cold floor, you will freeze. You will feel it within 20 minutes. So the R ratings is how warm or how insulated from the floor it'll keep you. Obviously, the higher the R rating, the warmer it'll keep you. There is a regulatory system that they're all supposed to abide by. So you need a certified R rating, meaning they've had it checked by a third party. They can't just claim it's got an R rating of this or the R rating of that, as some companies do. You you want it to have been through the certification process. The better, the more reputable the company, the better you're going to be on this one, I'm afraid. But anyway, yeah, so here we have the RAB Stratosphere 5.5. I live in Britain. 5.5 is going to keep me warm all year round. It's a 4-season sleeping pad. I don't need any more than that, but here we have the Nortent sleeper mat. Yeah, you can get in touch if I'm wrong, but I think it's got an R rating of 7-ish. Might even go up to nearly 8. Can't be sure on that. Here we have the Light Tour, a Chinese import. People give Chinese brands a bit of stick. Well, they're not all con merchants, they do have some reputable companies. So this has a R rating again of 7 point something, or maybe as high as 8. What is it with? I don't know if that helicopter's just buzzing round and round, or is it another? So here we have the Bestway Alpine Light. This is a budget. It's a 4-season. You can't get them in a 3-season. I forget the R rating. It doesn't tell you on the. Okay. Now, if you're good to go outdoors, they seem to do Sea to Summit, and they've got their own OEX brand. So this is the OEX Flux 5.0. I'm not sure what the 5.0 stands for, but it claims to have an R rating of 3, which is a summer to autumn. Yeah, only just into autumn. So it's a 3-season. There we go. The from Decathlon, we have the 4-class, and this has an R value of 1.5, which is virtually nothing. The rubber mats you get have got a higher rating than that. So they come in all different shapes and sizes. They do summer, so 1 to 2 season, spring, summer. They do 3 season, they do 4 season. It's all down to what you want, what you need. If you only go camping in the summer, you don't need to spend lots of money on the expensive 4-season ones. If you're an all year rounder camping, then it's best to have. But there are combinations. For example, I always take my closed foamed sleeping mat. or the rubber roll mats that you get for camping. I take that for safety. 2 reasons. One, it protects. You know, if you put your tent on a load of thorns that you didn't see, and it penetrates the bottom of your tent and penetrates your sleep mat, and it goes down, you're going to have a horrific night. If you put the foam mat down first, it's less likely to puncture your mat. But if it still manages to puncture your mat through that, say you had some keys in your pocket or something that popped your mat, at least you've got your foam mat to give you a basic little bit of warmth and a little bit of comfort from the cold, hard ground. Some people don't bother taking the foam mat. Why? You know, their attitude is, why would I take that? I've got a perfectly good sleep mat. When it comes to my comfort and sleeping, I prefer the insurance of both. And these sleep mats aren't cheap. If you pop it, you're not going to get your money back unless you're with a company. Oh, what they're called? Anyway, I'll think of that a bit later. Some companies give a lifetime guarantee, but that's from product malfunction. It's not really if you sit in it and you've got keys in your back pocket and the keys pop through it. Thermarest, that's the company, yeah. Thermarest, and maybe 1 or 2 others give you a lifetime guarantee. But that's if you treat the mat with, not kid gloves, but if you treat it reasonably, it should last you a lifetime, and if don't, they'll replace it. But they are extortionate in price. I've never had one. I was saving up for one, but I've seen so many people call them uncomfortable, and they're kind of thin. So I've stayed away from them. I've spent a lot of money on sleep mats. I've got maybe 10 different kinds. So I could have bought a couple of Thermarest, and there is still a Thermarest I'm interested in buying, but it's like so thick and comfy, and but it's not a 4-season. Annoyingly. Okay, let's get these all blown up, and you can see them, and we'll talk about them as we look at their do's and don'ts. When it comes to blowing up your sleep mats, it's advised you don't use your breath, because the moisture in your breath settles on the inside of the mat and becomes mouldy and whatnot. Recently I've seen a video of somebody cutting open their sleep mat that they'd used for like a decade or so, and he'd blown it up plenty of times with his breath, and had no problem with it at all. It was completely clean on the inside. And I've seen some sleep mats recently where people were using electronic pumps to pump them up, a particular brand, an orange brand, and they had got some sort of mould on the inside and never had a breath of lung air at all. What is going on? Well, I hope you can hear me, it's not the aeroplane. Yeah, so I don't know how to take this. Is it technical advice, or is it just a rumour? But I always use an electronic pump, partially because I have respiratory problems. I would probably faint after blowing up a sleep mat. Not all sleep mats take a lot, but some of them, like my big rab that I've showed you, I will continue to show you. Jeez, that'll take me all night to blow that up. So what I use, as do a lot of people, is an electronic pump, very much like this one. It doubles up as a lantern that hangs in the tent, so everybody likes, all campers like an object that does two purposes. So this is a air pump and it's a light. You can get smaller, lighter ones than that, but they don't turn into a lantern. So you'd have to take them and some sort of lantern for your tent. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. So it's up to you. But I use this one. I've had it for quite a few years. It still works fine. The adapters that come with it, I haven't found a sleep mat that it doesn't pump up or doesn't fit the valve yet. So if anything happens to it, I have got a backup. Lidl did some recently for, I think it was £12. So while I was in there getting some shopping, I just threw it in the trolley, and haven't used it yet. But I have a backup just in case anyway. Right, I'm going to get these pumped up so you can see what they look like. Speak to you soon. Just a sort of side note about the Chinese made stuff. Well, when it comes to a lot of camping stuff, and this video is about sleep mats, so we'll keep it about sleep mats. Your more reputable companies, so Rab, for example, have their sleep mats made in China. A lot of the companies do. So there'll be a factory in China, and all their machines are set to make these particular sleep mats for all the American and European brands, using a certain quality materials and systems. And let's just say Rab order 100,000 sleep mats, and the Chinese company go ahead and fulfill that order, and they send off 100,000 sleep mats. They will then use the materials and the machines to make 100,000 of their own that they will rebrand as, I don't know, the Light Tour, for example. Now, you are getting a Light Tour sleep mat that is made exactly to the same specifications, and all the materials are the same durability as whichever company ordered them made originally, and of course it will be half the price. Same quality, half the price. So giving these Chinese knockoffs, as a lot of people call them, a bad rap isn't always the case, especially in a lot of camping kit. It's exactly the same quality as some of the bigger named brands that are charging you the earth. Just wanted to get that in. So I'll speak to you soon. Eventually, several hours later. No, I was just going to randomly throw them down, but I've decided to put them in in their order of R rating, warmest to summer. So, as I said earlier, the Nortent, it's got these long baffles, and it's got almost a crisscross, you can see, just in there. It's my favourite at the moment. It's so comfortable. The outside baffles have just a millimetre or two more than the inside, so it just stops you rolling off. It's got an R rating of about 8, more than I need for here in Britain. It's just the comfiest, warmest, and I got it on the early bird deal, so it cost me I got it cheap. But I had bought other stuff from Nortent at the time. I don't know how much they are at the minute, but they're over £100, I know that. If I had to go out and buy one tomorrow, that is what I'd buy. But would I? This is the Light Tour. As you can see, it's kind of mummified at the bottom. Mummified is the term for something that's shaped more to the human body. You don't need as much room. Some people don't need as much room for their feet at the bottom, so they've narrowed it to make it lighter. I mean, this is lighter than that, but it's also thinner. And it doesn't have the baffles, but this is very comfy. I use this the most in winter, but only because I want to look after that one. This is £100-ish. Now, something I didn't mention earlier that I want to bring up now is this is the stuff sack that goes in, but it also doubles as a pump sack. So you fill it full of air, attach it to the valve, and you can blow it up much quicker than using your lungs. And if your electric pump fails, you have this. Same with this. The pump sack is there, and that is also the stuff sack for keeping it in. Now this, the best way. What can I say about this? If I was wondering about my budget, I would buy that. It's £44. I looked this morning. £44. It's got an R rating of 7 point something. Not the comfiest, not the thickest. It bottoms out when you sit on it. When I say it bottoms out, it means when you sit in it or you put your hand on it, then you feel the floor. But when you lie on these things, you don't touch the floor. You don't want to touch the floor. Now, if you see these in a shop when you want to buy one, what you want to do is put your hand on it, and within seconds I can feel the warmth of my hand being reflected back to my hand. Takes a little bit longer with that one, but pump sack, it gives you a pump sack, not as good as theirs. My biggest and most expensive, I don't know how much they are at the moment, but the Rab, yeah, 5.5. It is so comfy. It's very thick, so it's very robust. And I remember the first time I used it, I actually pumped it up till it was rock solid, and it was not comfortable at all. I had to let some of the air out just to get a comfortable night's sleep. the OEX Special. This was actually my first inflatable. I didn't have a lot of money. I've had this years now. I don't know how long they've been going, but I don't know how many years I've had it, but a long time. It has the R value of 3, and I've used it in winter, but as I always use a closed cell foam mat underneath them. Between the two, that comes up to a value of about 5, because your foam mats have, depending, they can have up to an R rating of 2. So the R rating of 2 plus the R rating of 3. Obviously we can do the math there, brings up to 5ish. Now this, I've seen this get some bad feedback online, but as it was my first ever inflatable and I paired it with a closed cell, I've never had a problem with it. But now, having all these more comfortable ones, I might have a problem with it. I haven't used it for a while. And now this from the 4 class from Decathlon. This is what I class as my my summer bag. It's quite light. It's hardly got any value at all. 1.5 in the R rating. As you can see, it's virtually very mummified at the bottom there. Wide at the shoulders. Comes in, tapers in at the head area, because you know your head doesn't flop around that much. If it does, you want to go see a doctor. But as well as being light, it has these, and they're rubbery, siliconized kind of thing, and they they stop your sleeping bag sliding off and whatnot. If I turn it over, it will stop the sleep mat from sliding along the bottom of the tent. It's got quite a few little features on it that all the rest of them don't seem to have. So yeah, that's my summer one. And these are just a selection. Realistically, if you're an all-year camper, you just need a high R value, which of course, as we already said, does bring a bit more in the price tag, apart from the best way. There's quite a well-known YouTuber called Grizzly Gaz who brought that to my attention. I did a review on it when I first got it. You'll have to look through my back catalogue. I think I've reviewed them all when I first got them. Well, these 3 at least. But for £44, that is the diamond amongst them all. But when you have such a variety, you do tend to find yourself a favourite. And my Nortent, just because the warmth, the comfort, it's got the best. It's got the best pump sack. And one of the things I do with the pump sacks is when I roll them up, I don't put them back in the pump sack. I'll put my clothes that I want to keep dry or whatever in the pump sacks, because they're waterproof bags, they're airtight bags, and you've got to take it just in case your electronic pump runs out or gets damaged. So yeah, your pump sack becomes a dry bag. Doesn't have a pump sack. The pump sack with that is terrible. good pump sack, good pump sack, good pump sack, good pump sack. They all have their pros and cons. It's what you need. I'm not telling you which one to get, which one not to get. But if you can afford to, get a 4-season and a summer one. The summer ones are a lot lighter. You want to make your summer bag as light as possible. And unfortunately your winter bag is going to weigh a lot. Just because winter kit is a lot heavier. Yeah, it's all down to your budget, which one you can afford, which one you can't afford. As I said, I would always encourage you to take a closed cell foam mat as a precaution, as additional. Like I've said to you before, this little R3 value, R3, I've mixed it with this closed cell foam mat and slept in the snow, and you know, was perfectly warm and comfortable. So, you know, your budget doesn't have to skyrocket because you're getting these things. 44 quid from Amazon. It's a no-brainer. Anyway, should have taken me a bit of time to take these down and roll them all up. So I think I've summarised it all. You know what the R value means. Yeah, price wise, yeah. Weight. Again, they've all got different weights. That is the beast, as I call it. I hardly ever use it, just because of how big and heavy it is. If I was getting a lift to the campsite, I could throw everything in the boot of a car. That's what I'd take. Look at it. Look at the size of it. It's massive. But mind you, it's just a little bit bigger than the Nortent. Some of these won't fit in a one-man tent. I wouldn't get that in my Lanshan one. I'd probably only just get the Nortent in a Lanshan one, or the little Bobcats, which is a lovely tent. I love them. So there's another aspect you've got to think of. What tent have you got? How big is your tent? Well, I hope some of this has helped you. I'm not going to enjoy deflating and rolling these all up, but it's got to be done. So I'll call it here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give me a like and maybe a hype. I don't know how that happens, but if you find the hype button, please hit it. It all helps the channel. If you have any comments, down below. If you have any questions, hit me up. I answer every question. Please feel free to ask me or comment or critique, whatever you want. Let's get a conversation going about sleep mats. So please, as always, be careful out there. Take care. Speak to you next time.